acting, painting, and a life-changing surgery. Art lovers, this one's for you.
Hey, don't close that browser. It's the journal. Welcome to our humble little corner of the web. I'm Josh Dawson.
And I'm Melissa Green.
Today we'll be looking at a passionate young actor, a very talented student painter, and a brave young lady with scoliosis, an unfortunate curvature of the spine.
And later tonight we'll be joined by our musical guest, Kevin Colquhoun, the esteemed runner-up at Centennial College's own talent show.
And don't forget you can follow us at Facebook and Twitter at The Journal 2014. First up, the story of Sonya Kirsch, diagnosed with the severe curvature of the spine at age 12. Now 15, she is the recipient of a life-changing surgery. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Sonya. I'm 15. I had a severe case of scoliosis, so I had surgery to correct that. And the surgery that I had put 2 steel rods down my spine to straighten it. So I had an 80-degree curve, and now I have like barely a curve. My mom and I, we went dress shopping for a bat mitzvah that I was going to, and everything was fitting me really weird, and she was trying to correct my posture and all that kind of stuff, and it just wasn't going over well. So she told my dad, because my dad's a chiropractor, and they started keeping an eye out for it. And after a little while, I went and I got an x-ray, and it turned out that I had a 17-degree curve. And so then once I started to get older, so like 12 and 13, when I went through puberty, it got worse. So I went from having like a 17 to a 25 to a 45, and like I think to a 60, and then a 77, and then an 80 curve. So the 80 was what was the surgery for. Well, what I had was, I think it was called idiopathic adolescent scoliosis. So I wasn't born with it, but it happened when I became adolescent. I couldn't run for long periods of time, couldn't sit still for long periods of time. I had to always move around. I got shortness of breath easily, like walking up like a flight of stairs would knock me out. When I went through puberty, I had a really big growth spurt, so we don't really know what it was that caused the scoliosis, because there's not really any family history with it, so we don't know if it could be hereditary or not. I actually tried bracing in grade 7. So the brace was like a soft brace, had like 4 arms, I guess you could say, with Velcro on them that attached to a pair of shorts that I would wear with Velcro on them. Yeah, it was really weird. I always knew that I could have the surgery, and that was always my #1 option, just to get it done and over with. And well, my dad being a chiropractor wanted to try working on it himself. And then we tried another kind of chiropractic care called Pettibon, which I didn't like, so we didn't continue with it. What we didn't know is that actually when they went into me, like and cut me open, my bones had become rigid, which would have mean that it would have been harder to have the surgery, let's say next year opposed to this year. And like I was just in a lot more pain than I should be, and like that kind of stuff. What I did is that I just started taking these pills, Ferromax, and they're iron pills, and they boost up the level of iron you have in your body. And that they use that because usually you want to do a blood transfusion just in case. Like they want to have blood just in case a blood transfusion is needed. That's what I meant to say. But it turned out that I was anemic, so my mom donated blood for me because she matched up. So for school, it was more difficult. I had to tell my teachers that I wasn't going to be in school, that why I wasn't going to be in school, and I had to pass around like a form for all my teachers, and then we had to tell guidance and all that kind of stuff. So all the teachers had to prepare packages or things for me to do while I was away. Yeah. And so the day before, I went out with friends and like trying to get my mind off of things and like that kind of stuff. And I went for breakfast and then we went to a mall. And the night of, I was like, okay, I have to wake up at 4 a.m. anyways. I'm probably not gonna sleep. I'm too anxious and this and that. And what happened is that around 2 a.m. I got a headache because I was overthinking everything, and I'm like, oh my God, am I going through with this? So I ended up just passing out and falling asleep. Well, the doctor who was performing my surgery specializes in this surgery. It's the only surgery he ever performs, really. So I had no doubts. Well, when I woke up, I don't remember any of that. My mom got a film. It's hysterical. It's really funny. And so that night, I made her go home, but I had calmed down from the anesthetic finally. So I was still like out of it, but I was in pain, and I had nurses coming in like every 20 minutes. But when I got home from the hospital, I had to get accustomed to like sitting in like couches, and we actually bought a chair for me to sit in because I couldn't sit anywhere. I'd have to like lie down if I wanted to do anything. So with that was no problem. Sleeping was fine, and I was still on drugs for the first like week. So like I'd wake up midnight and I'd be like, oh my God, no, I feel pain, and I just do that. So when I knew that I was getting the surgery, I think it was the Monday back from the winter break, so at school, and I was going out with a friend after school, so my mom wasn't picking me up and that kind of stuff. But she texted me in science and she's like, Sonya, I need to talk to you. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? And she gets out of the car and she tells me that I got my surgery date. And I just fell to the floor crying in front of my school. And I ran in to meet up with the friend that I was going with. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting my surgery March the 12th. And there are just tears rolling down my face of like pure joy. And like everyone was like, why is she crying? And like my friend was like, oh my God, you're getting your surgery. And it was like really exciting. Yeah, so I went from 5'4" to 5'7". And so basically, the only things that I've really noticed and changed are it's harder to bend, so I can't really bend at all. I have to like squat, pick up, get back up. I can only really bend from my hips. I can take a deep breath. I couldn't do that before my surgery, which was really bad. And so now I can actually do that. And it was one of the first things I said after my surgery. I was like, I can breathe. Because I just remember like my ribs and my lungs were all messed up and I couldn't do it. And now I can, and that's great. I kind of like, it's nice being tall.
Whoa, Sonya definitely has a bright future ahead of her now, and I wish her all the best. Stick around after our next story for a performance from Colquhoun.
Next up, we showcase a brilliant artist who uses acting to cope with the difficulties of mental illness. Here's the story of Charles Manzo.
It was like this. After those terrible threats of yours, King,
he brings a lot of spirit and charisma and energy that we need, and he inspires everyone, I think, to try to do better.
So out there, and he's just so open, and he's just like, good morning, how are you guys, how you doing? He starts a conversation, like he really wants to get to know who you are.
My name is Charles Manzo. I'm a first-year undergrad student taking the York University's theater program. I used to have major clinical depression, suffer with Tourette syndrome, and also have anxiety disorder. I can really remember that I was very lost. I felt as if I didn't know where I was headed. I was a really disturbed high school kid, and acting helped me a lot. Because for you to be able to act, I feel that you must really dig deep inside yourself. I feel that if you're able to really remove yourself from your own body and go through someone else's body like a character in someone else's shoes, that helps me look at my situation and ask myself, am I really having it that bad?
Acting has helped him understand and stay grounded, whether it be directing a piece or being in a piece. It's helped him become more grounded, have more perspectives on situations and how to deal with them and apply that into acting and to real life.
And wept on the heavens to damn the hands who has done this thing. We ran and took her at once.
There were a few times where he would call me in the middle of the night and just want to talk to me, because we both suffer from mental illness, and of course we talk to each other about that because we need each other to get through that. And he feeds off of that, and he realizes that people do care for me. I need to start caring for myself. And since then, Charles has been so positive. He's excited about things. We're in another play together. He's excited about that. He loves being there. And he forces everyone else to have that same drive and dedication as him.
I said I need a doctor.
I could hear you.
And when I first met him, it was more so like scared. I was scared to attempt anything, but now his progression has been like huge, like actually one of the biggest, from everyone that I've seen in our program, like one of the biggest jumps and leaps was definitely Charles's work, because he's starting to figure it out and he's taking the time. And I think that's because I know him personally. I know that he's taking the time to read up on anything that he possibly can, like learn anything that he possibly can when it comes to theater, and it's showing in his work now, for sure.
Why are you talking to me like this? It's like it's what?
Why I talk to you like this?
Yeah,
because you're the people that he's been affected by, directors, writers, scripts, they've made him look at his life from a different light, from the light of someone else. Look upon it and go, hey, I have to look at my life to be able to judge this person's life, because you have to find the comparisons, you have to find the similarities. And I think when Charles first started, he was spending a lot of time not looking at his own life, trying to ignore it. And because it's easier to do that sometimes. Now, he's realized that you have to go to those places to be able to do truthful work. To be a good actor, you have to go there, and now Charles has to accept who he's been, who he is, who he wants to be, and you have to ask those kinds of questions of yourself to be able to find out what the character would answer. Because if you don't have your own answers, how do you have answers for someone else? And you have to have both. So to me, that's where it became a big leap, because now he's facing himself. Yes, would you like a little bit? Actually, I got a little bit right here. I got it in my back pocket. Okay. Hey, a little bit of vodka. Come on, a little bit. Come on.
What I want to say is this. I know you probably heard it a million times before. I know a lot of people tell you this, but everything will get better. Probably you don't right now, but I want to make this very clear. Do not take that pill that will kill you. Do not get that knife and bleed to death. Do not hang yourself, but
And then
push
hang
through.
low, just hang on.
And as Friedrich Nietzsche says, what doesn't kill you make you stronger, and I do believe in that. I believe that if you're able to go down to your very lowest point in life and pick yourself up from that grave that you just dug for yourself, you can do anything.
Thanks. Thank you all for coming.
Life has thrown so many obstacles his way, and he still keeps going. Never lose that passion, Charles.
Our musical guest tonight was the runner-up at Centennial College's Big Talent Show this year. He'll be performing us an original song titled, Why Are You Giving Me the Blues? And now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kevin Colquhoun!
No, darling, what is wrong with you? Oh, no, darling, what is wrong with you, baby? And are you giving me the stare that's giving me the blues? Oh, no, darling, what is wrong with you, baby? Oh, no, darling, what is wrong with you, baby? giving me the stare that's giving me the blues. You giving me the stare, no doubt on what is wrong. You giving me the stare, the blues. You run there in the morning or even the night. What's going on, baby? Cause you giving me the fries. Oh, no doubt, no doubt on what is wrong with you, baby. Oh, you giving me the stare that's giving me the blues. Darling, what is wrong with you, baby? Oh, no, darling, what is wrong with you, baby? Hey. No, you giving me the stare that's giving me the blues. You're giving me the stare, no, darling, what is wrong? You giving me the stare, the blues.
Thanks, Kev. That was a killer song. Could you tell us a bit about it? What's it about? What inspired you to write it?
Well, what's it called? Had a dream.
Yeah.
And I woke up.
And it was just there?
It was there, man.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Do you mind sticking around to play another song for us at the end of the show?
Sure, man.
All right, awesome. Excellent. Thank you. Stay tuned for that, everyone.
Our final story is about a young art student pursuing her passion for painting. Let's have a look at Katerina Louise. Katerina Louise, come on, take it away.
Drawers, some people are naturally better with sculpting. I would say Katrina was probably born naturally as a painter.
I just love painting. Surprisingly, I use everything. In charcoal, acrylic, the colors I use are basically like all kinds of colors, primary, secondary, because I wanted to show people that my life is colorful.
She's a very good painter, and the thing that always surprises me, she does all the assignments, if you want to call them that. She makes art, and then she makes her own on top of it. She just keeps making art.
Okay, what do you want? Just like the face, or?
Why do you feel sleep? Because you don't. Year 2011, my mom just like bought me a sketch pen, and then I'm like, okay, I want to draw something, and then it all started there. I posted in Facebook, and like people are liking it, and they're like, oh, you have a hidden talent, like something like that. And I'm like, okay, I want to continue this. Then from drawing, go to painting as well. It was like 2 years ago when my doctor, my dentist, paid for my painting. He bought my painting. And he told me that just keep on painting and you'll be successful. And I just did. And now I actually like sold more than 10 of my paintings already. And I just keep on continuing.
In the professional world is that she's doing it not because for external reasons, like somebody like me saying, hey, next Thursday you've got to have this image done in this size. She does it because she wants to and because she has to, like for some reason inside here. And I can't teach that. I can sometimes unburden it, find it in the person and bring it out, but it's so naturally in Katrina that she will do very well for herself.
So my definition of success is when you feel like you've reached your goal and your dream. It doesn't mean that, it could be like you're getting well known, but it's about you're happy with what you're doing. That's the success, the meaning of success for me.
That was amazing. I wish I could paint like that.
She's an amazing artist.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. That's all the time we have for the Journal tonight. Remember to follow us on Twitter and Facebook at the Journal 2014. Thanks for stopping by.
And now to play us out with his song Waterfalls, Mr. Kevin Colquhoun.
Woo!